Live. 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 Stupid. There we go. Now we're all set. Happy Labor Day, everybody. Hopefully, if you are smarter than me, you're not working today. I didn't know if I wanted to do this or not. I mean, I got yard work I can do. We're not doing any barbecue today, so I don't have to worry about that. But I know there are a lot of you that are watched that aren't even in the States, so I figure, what the hell? We'll knock it out, see who shows up. We don't get any questions today, then we will just call it an early day. Hey, Alfredo, how are you doing today? Let's see. Hey, Boris. Welcome. What do you guys think? We think we should do a SEO Signals Lab Q&A today? Let's see what's going on in the Signals Lab. I was in there the other day, and this guy, kind of being a douche. So, same to you, Christian. Christian wishes everyone a happy Labor Day. You're not on Zoom, you can see that, but that's all right. I'm going to share the screen just so you guys can see what I'm reading. We'll go from there. As always, I'll just do this until you guys have questions, and if you don't come up with anything, we'll call it a quits at some point. But I was in here, and let me see if I still have that in my thing. The guy was kind of being a douched head. Let's see. I'm looking. Be patient. Nope. Trying to find it. I need to find it because there is an important lesson in this that everyone should kind of, just be aware of, because while he was a complete douche nozzle, he wasn't entirely wrong either. The problem is when you're a dick just to be a dick, like for absolutely no reason whatsoever, people tend to just blow you off. So let me see. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. At the end of the day, what the topic was is that there's a guy, and he had if you know that a lot of those URLs that just show up and people are making URLs off of your domain name, etc., like fake URLs that are not there. Google finds them and Google crawls them, and then when you find them, by that time it's a 404. Well, there's actually an intent behind that. It's not these people that are just running around and finding if your website makes it, and it's not Google just creating random characters. Here it is right here. See, so you see the URL And then here's his domain, and then he's got these random characters that just showing up, right? So the Googlebot just doesn't make those. It just doesn't go, let me try this and see if it works. Ta-da! No, it's got to find those somewhere, and typically where it's finding those is backlinks. People are creating backlinks and generating those. Now, why would they be allowed to do that? There is a technical reason, and this dude here, see if I can find this dickhead. Right here, he's Adam Keith Marlin, and he went in and deleted all his comments. Like it kind of tells you what to see. So he has this tip here on how to fix it, or how to make sure that in the technical aspect that this doesn't happen. The problem is that people just don't make these to make them. It's like random, right? So first they figure out if your website is capable, or if you can get away with doing it, which his tip was a legit tip to fix, if you're technical enough. But first they see, can they do it? And then they see, can I get into the server? And the reason they want to get into the server is because they drop a PHP script in your server files, and it's not necessarily in your WordPress installation. It's just a PHP script, and they have a call somewhere in your WordPress installation to that file. And anytime one of these random URLs show up that fit this code, then the user is redirected off of your website and onto someone else's, and it's malware. So while he was correct that there is a technical fix to harden you up, is also correct that this is malware. At the end of the day, you don't just do this because, you know what I mean? You just don't. Most logical people aren't just going to go run around and make random backlinks to someone's website and fake URLs. I mean, you could do it if you're a GSA list cleaner and kind of a douche, right? So if I didn't like Dale or Lori for whatever reason, I could find his URL, his domains, and just create these random generated alpha character URLs and build backlinks to them. And then eventually Google will follow those backlinks and find the 404s. And there would be absolutely no purpose other than just to create some crappy backlinks. I won't even say crappy backlinks, it's just to clean my list, right? And that doesn't help me. I guess it could help me if I consider cleaning the list helpful, but I mean, I do that in other ways. But let's say for sake of this topic, I'm just cleaning my list off his domain name. Then I can make those random things and such. There's much easier ways to do that process. So at the end of the day, if you're in Signals Lab, he does have this, like, he deleted everything where he was being a dick and then put this thing here like he was being helpful. But at the end of the day, if you can figure this out, or you can find a dev and just copy this and give it to the dev and go, hey, is this true? And can I fix it in my WordPress installation? Versus doing what everybody cries about, saying, WordPress is bad, you should do pure HTML. Well, it's 2023 and WordPress is running like half the internet. So get over your fucking self at this point and learn how to secure WordPress a lot better. Now there is, since there is this technical part, you need to figure out if you can do it, or find a plugin that can kind of do this, and just talk to a dev. But he did mention that you can submit the badge pages to Search Console for removal. That does not always work. Well, here's what it does. It's a temporary removal. So it'll take it out. And then like 90 days later, they'll all be back. And you'll be like, what the hell? It's just the way Google's that system works. It seems dumb to me. If they have crawling issues, and if a webmaster goes, hey, all these URLs are bad, just take them out of your search index, you're actually helping the search engine. So why make that tool temporary? And my guess is, in case somebody somebody uses it accidentally, and then it'll bring the pages back. But you do want to, I mean, just understand that that's temporary. It's not a fix at all. Now, you can make all the bad pages 404s, should be all ready. And then what you also should do is customize your 404 page. I'm a bad example of this. So even Digital Ear, the custom 404 page is my blog roll. But you want to, you can make a custom 404 page and do some lead gen out of there or something like that too. Just kind of get a little bit out of that kind of it's a thing you have to deal with for a little bit, and you'll see traffic coming there. If you put a lead gen thing on there on your 404 page, it might actually help you out a little bit, or links to some cool stuff with some clickbaity, think National Enquirer titles on there. So if it's totally irrelevant to whatever, then you can at least get some crawl to it. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. And basically what it is this parameter thing, and they're messing with it. And here in his example, he's got adding parameters and doing gets, and that's not entirely what is going on. It's actually creating real URLs, and then doing the PHP script redirects these URLs to wherever they want it to go. And if they build these with backlinks, you can find these. If they don't build these with backlinks and just send traffic through them, these can be on your website for quite some time before you actually know that PHP thing is there. So make sure you get a good host too that'll clean out your stuff and run malware searches on your entire server. Don't just rely on like iTheme Security Pro, for example. It mainly checks your core WordPress files. Anti-malware by Eli, it'll check all of the folders if you have the pro version, but it's not 100% infallible. So you want to have a good host that does actual malware stuff. If you're on GoDaddy, I can tell you right now that they don't do malware checks, and an entire server can get hacked. You can find it and let them know that the server's hacked, and they won't fix the other websites on there, and that hack keeps coming back. And that's with a lot of those cheap hosting providers. So you need to take real care if you're going to put something you really love on a cheap host. So I use Liquid Web. I pay a significant amount more money than I probably should based on the number of sites I'm hosting. But I have the peace of mind knowing that they're scanning my website all the time too. So, they're scanning my entire server once a week to check for stuff. So there's that. So that was I think it was a good chat 'em up, don't you think? Let's see. Adam, is it still hot weather there? It is cool this week. And then it'll ramp back up. So we should be this time next week, we'll be back in the 116s for a while. I think we got one more month of this, and then October it'll start cooling down. I say cooling down, most people are like, what the hell? But it's like 100 here. It feels really nice when it's hot as balls most of the time, right? So that's October. November will be 80s and 90s. December will be 60s, 70s. And then spring. I cannot read the text you're showing. You don't have to, Glenn. Just go to Signals Lab and search for Alan Frazier, and you'll see this image, and you'll see everything I'm talking about. Let's see. Because in all fairness, Glenn, I can barely read it, and I'm looking right at my screen. James, hey Clint, how would you use significant link schema for e-commerce categories and subcategories to link them all together? So the e-com category, the main primary category, you wouldn't put significant link schema on it because that would be the top of the silo, right? So what you can do is put significant links. So there's two of them, significant link and significant links. So let me show you. Significant links, right? So significant link, significant links. And because it's top of silo, you can use significant links and put all the links to your subcategories on them. Make sense? And then when on your subcategories, you use significant link, this one, significant link, and send that to your primary category. So you're linking up. And then you have significant links that links to all your other subcategories. Now you've siloed out your site with your schema. Make sense? Hopefully that answers that question. Trey, happy Labor Day, dude. Mike Pierce, yep, Ghost, still with Ghost. I've got multi-login. I'm adding accounts to that for my VAs because we do a lot of Google stuff, and I'm tired of having them change ownership of what they do in their own personal accounts to mine. It's like this needless step. So I bought everybody a seed on multi-login. I'm going to put a whole bunch of Google accounts in there, and we're going to use those for that. But my primary browser is Ghost. They fixed it finally, so I'm happy. Glenn, in your experience, where do you find you get the most effective use of putting LSI keywords into your significant schema, e-commerce blog site? So I'm not LSI is entities and LSI words, super entities. So what it's not a like different types. I use it everywhere. Makes sense, Glenn? So if I have an article and I'm paying $450 for it, and I'm going to do the schema. If I'm doing an e-commerce store, I'm going to do the schema. So you should be doing it everywhere, because what you're doing in your head, and I talked about this at Digital Underground, you can have and I showed it here on SEO this week too. You can have a blank page, and if your schema is good, you're going to tell Google what your blank page is about, and it's going to rank it. I mean, that's not going to work for significantly hard keywords, but it's enough to say, look, this is what this page is about. This web page is about this thing. It's on this website. It's published by this organization. It mentions this, and it's about this and that. If you do that on all of your high valuable pages, you spend significantly less money in backlinks. So on the flip side of that, you can't write advanced schema for every page on your website. Don't even bother trying. You'll drive yourself insane. Okay. So let's say you have an AI content generation model. You can build links to 25 pages a month to keep them indexed and see where they land. And then let's say 4 of them are winners, or Google's testing them for really good high traffic keywords. That's where you go in there and add that high traffic keyword to the content, and then write the schema for that high traffic keyword, and the page will jump up even more. And then you do some backlinks, and then you're in the money. So that's the fast way to do it. Well, the easier way to do it with a mass content site. Now, you guys know my stance on that. If you can't build backlinks to get an index, then they ain't worth writing a piece of content for it. If you can't promote it, don't bother writing it. Make sense? So a lot of these people are writing, 1,000, 10,000, 50,000 page blogs, posts. They're all excited. And then the rankings drop because they don't build backlinks, and they did it with AI. And then there's some clown on Twitter going, look, AI sites don't work. AI sites work just fine. And so do regular websites, but neither of them will work at all if you don't build backlinks to keep the thing indexed. And if you don't have your internal link stuff done. So I've talked about that before. I definitely, in my on-page course, that's probably going to be a whole module, just kind of explain that whole thing together. I got 6 of those videos done, by the way. I need to get those live in the SIA members area. Boris, do you redirect products that won't come back again? I have one of my new clients have marked them orphan pages, but they have grown to 10,000 now. Yeah. If you're never, ever going to do them again, just 301 them. 301 them to the category, and that will help boost any work that you did to those product pages. Any traffic or everything will go straight to that category. All the backlinks will go straight to that category and help you rank that category page much easier, especially if you're doing it at that pace. 10,000 products that are just out there. Yeah, 301 them. You don't have to 301 all of them, though. What you can do is say, does it have backlinks and does it have traffic? If the answer is no to those, just 404, Google's not going to run to it. Or you can do it the lazy man way and 404 all 10,000, delete them all, just let them 404, and then follow your 404 reports inside Google Analytics and redirect the ones that show up in there. That means people have found them somehow, so you redirect those to the categories and just do that. So there's a couple of ways you can knock that thing out. But yeah, I wouldn't leave them on there. Can you provide Facebook group link or add me to my? I don't have a Facebook group. Signals Lab, you just go in there and you can find it in there. That's not my group though. And that's a lie. I do have a Facebook group. I never figured out how to promote it because I didn't want to just randomly add people. But I've learned that if you want a Facebook group to grow, you got to randomly add people. So I just never got around to it. Boris, do you see anything new in SGE that affects SEO? I honestly, I've had SGE. I applied for the beta and I got it, and it was. I'm already banner blinded to it. Does that make sense? So I think from a search engine optimization marketing standpoint, it's kind of like I will say you have to ask questions and then answer them directly, and then you have a better chance of getting picked up into SGE in theory. But outside of that, if you have a information site that is solely based off of ad revenue, I would probably keep that open. A lot of people are closing it because they don't want, we don't want SGE to be trained on our thing. But at the end of the day, it's got plenty of data anyway. So you not having your website show up in there is stupid to me. But that said, as I was alluding to, I'm blind to it now. Like I intentionally scroll past it and get to the organic search results because I know that's where my real answer is going to be versus SGE. Younger users, it seems, are using it more. The downside is they're using it and thinking it's factual versus a large language model. So there's some issues in there. It would be good, I think, if and when Google can figure out how to let, like Google Discover, it tells you when you get Google Discover traffic. It would be cool if they had one that said this, you got SGE traffic, and then we can do something with that stuff. But right now, it's everyone's just guessing, including myself. Funky Blend. I have a new website with around 50 articles. So it was ranking fine and showing, but these past today, it disappeared from all the results, but it's still indexed. Did you build backlinks? Is it interlinked? All your pages interlinked. And you don't have to go all your pages. I say all your pages, but all your pages should have internal links, and they should be linking to other pages, right? And then the other one could be your domain is penalized. Those are the three guesses I have for you. Yes. What kind of links you're mostly using for your local clients? Citations. So citation websites. You can do press releases. I use SEO Nitro a lot. And then you can use Cloud Links and WebTees. I mean, all of those all still work. You don't have to spend, like, I just spent $1,400 for backlinks, and the ranking on my page didn't do shit. And these are good sites, right? So it's not, and then when I do something like a web 2 or whatever, stuff moves up. It's weird. I don't get it. It's Google, but it happens. So don't, especially for local clients typically don't spend a whole lot of money, and you're not going to drop $1,400 on backlinks every month for a client that's paying you $1,500. So do clouds. You can do clouds for relatively free. You can do Google stuff for relatively free. You can do web 2s for relatively free. Went over the notes last week. What's his name? Garrett. He's still creating web 2 PBNs so you can do those. Those are relatively free. So think outside of the box with local clients, because even if you're charging what I charge, minimum is $1,500 a month, because I can't. You're not going to do a good job for less than that, because you got to build stuff. And even if you're doing it free, you're still paying for either your time or your VAs to make it for you. So it's not free. So don't be charging $250 and thinking that you're and ripping these people off. Because at the end of the day, that's kind of how I look at it, right? So, but you don't have to drop, an ass ton of money either. If you have enough clients that'll pay for a Nitro account, that's a good PBN source. And then you use the rest of the free methods to build links and diversify everything. Roger. Hopefully my volume's good too. I don't know. Roger, what's the best way to rank a page for a service business for just the service, i.e., my client ranks #1 for plumbers in towns. However, if I search for just plumbers in that town, page ranks #9. So what's going on is the proximity, right? So and then you have the search. So how I like to explain it is, if there's a national search level, which is your search term, just plumbers, and then there's local, plumbers in. Okay. And so the hard part is ranking for just plumbers. Like, you're never going to just take over plumbers. Google won't allow it. So your proximity actually plays into that. And that's really more even proximity to the business that will kick that in even higher. But at the end of the day, you still have to just double down on the optimizations for that city. So if you force your term plumbers in New Orleans, for example, so you got your search is your location is New Orleans, that broad thing. The page has to say New Orleans enough for it to come up for just plumbers in New Orleans. And it's kind of a pain in the ass because if you have local clients, like, they'll be in one parish and your business is in another parish, and then they yell at you because you're not ranking. Well, you're ranking in the parish where your business is at, but you're not ranking in the broad, and broad just takes more time. So you got to work on keyword density you got to localize where you want to go, and then optimize your template for that city. So New Orleans, for example, optimize your template for plumbing. Make sure you get stupid on point for plumbing. And when I say template, is your content. Really narrowed down to plumbing, and then insert your city terms inside of that content versus the other way around. Don't optimize your content for plumbers in town. Optimize it for just plumbers or plumbing, just that. And if you're doing a national campaign, like when I'm doing my franchises, when I'm launching, I'll do the research on 50 to 100 cities, narrow that down to what structure and common words and all that's supposed to be on the page, and then I'll build the template, and I'll use phrase, clear scope, and inlinks for plumbing, just plumbing. And then when I ready to turn that into the city page template, I add cities enough, the name of the city enough in there so that I rank for plumbers in city naturally. Makes sense? So it's easier if you optimize for the harder keyword, because the easier keyword, plumbers in city, is going to rank faster. And that harder keyword will boost that up. Hopefully, I mean, that's a lot, but that's a whole course right there. That one little section. Yes, new on-page course launching. Yeah, it's going to. There's courses in there already, Ash, in SEO Intel. But I'm adding new videos, and then you get notified as I add those videos, and that's part of your SIA membership. It's already there. Bear in mind, if you get SIA, you pay $497 to jump in. That's because you get all of our tests all at one time, and then $97 a month plus all the courses. If you buy the course all by itself, that will be at my other website, What Ranks, where I'll put the whole course out by its lonesome, and then you pay for that one time. But if you're in SEO Intel, you get it as I do it. If you're in What Ranks, you just get it when I release it. No backlinks. Yes, they are linked. I mean, if there's no backlinks, nobody voted for you, then why should they rank you? It's kind of how that works. Funky blend. You don't vote for yourself and no one votes for you after we've had you in the search results for X period of time, then why should we keep you? There's no value to your website. It's an easy way to filter out the noise and the junk that we SEOs put out. If you were to start an SEO agency from scratch with a limited budget, how would you go about it in today's climate? That's a good question. It's one I'm actually reapproaching again. So if you guys don't know, Digitaleer, I primarily do consulting. One of my consulting clients, the franchises, one of the franchisors, which has 8 brands that we were doing work for, they own the agency, right? And apparently that could get them into it opens them up for more liabilities, so they're going to Scorpion. So we're just going to find new franchises to work with, etc. So essentially, Digitaleer, I'm going to be starting that business from scratch again, and it's really so far the fastest way to get new clients and to get exposure is one. Well, I'll say 3. One is doing the YouTube show. And I'm going to have to bring that back and do the podcasting and all that stuff. And then 2 is doing talks, conference talks. And I'll tell you guys, I've only gotten 1 client. For all the conferences I've ever spoke to, I've only secured 1 client. So if anyone tells you, oh, you're going to get clients from doing conferences, they're fucking horse shit. But so that's kind of how I did, Alex. I would fire up a lead generator again. I would do videos. You're going to start seeing the site audit videos and stuff. I'll reach out and start doing that again. And I'm not doing that specifically to attract that client. I'm doing it to say, this is how I work, etc. And that'll kick in. I'm doing shorts. I'm thinking about, expanding into like TikTok and doing those. But the problem is I can record the video one time on YouTube and do YouTube shorts, or I can record the video for TikTok, publish it on TikTok, and then use that output to put it on shorts. In this case, I got to manage to make sure that it's under a minute for shorts. So it's kind of a hassle. See if that's worth my time. But and then the other one is referrals. So as an example, DC Glenn's here. I just saw him. That's what made me think of referrals too. He is good at marketing himself, and then his peers see that and like, hey, you want to market me? And he doesn't want to do that for them because he's busy. So I get referrals is another good fast way. Also billing the right amount of money. So a lot of new people start SEO agencies and they're like, oh, I'm going to charge $500 a client. You're not going to make a livable wage doing that without getting a whole bunch of clients. And then you're going to get buried, and you're brand new. So you don't know about making processes. You don't know about project management. You don't have a full team because you don't know what you're going to, what you're really going to do. And then you overwork yourself, and then shit just falls through. I know because it's happened to me several times. I'm not pulling this out of my ass. This will happen to you if you're not doing right. So you got to charge enough money to make, if 10 clients paying you $2,000 a month, there's good money there, and you're not working yourself to death, right? And you have a nice $20,000 a month income. So think of it like that, especially if you have skills. All you got to get is 10 clients and you can make $20,000 a month. That's more money than most people make. DC's got Cora now. Nice DC. Thank you, DC. By the way, I got your email. I haven't clicked through all of that stuff yet, but I do appreciate you sending that to me. I didn't want you to think I was ignoring you. Let's see. Boris, what do you think if you send a link from a high authority website in one niche to another site, a completely different niche, like fashion, e-com to a gambling site? No relevance at all. The relevance is in the anchor text. So if you're a gambling site and you want to transition to an e-com site, then there's nothing that says you can't have a image ad on the gambling site for suits, for example. Are you a high roller? Dress the part and send it to your e-com fashion store. And the anchor text is e-com related. The anchor text is the relevance of the thing. Title and URL also play a part because you're tying in keywords, but at the end of the day, it's the relevance of the anchor text that's getting passed. So you can do it. Totally fine. For clarity, how'd you get? I think I did that, Alex. Referrals, YouTube, put yourself out there. And then if you want to go old school, you can do cold emailing, but you're going to be competing with the other 10,000 people that are cold emailing. So, yes, I have a client based in Montclair, and as you know, the city is too small. We're ranking really well for plus city, but nowhere near a keyword near me. Any suggestions for that? You can add keyword near me instances into hidden div and try to kick that in and fire that off, or you can create those pages in the area. So you have Montclair as your city, you have different neighborhoods. Let me actually just show you how this works. Let me go here. Where's Zoom? Come here. So boom. I've shown this before too. So maps.google.com. Your city in here. Montclair, New Jersey, just as an example. So here's Montclair, tiny, right? So, and you want to start spreading out into your service area. Let's see if we can find another Montclair that's better example. Need my California. All right, I don't need this. So you got Montclair, California with the red, right? And you want to, you're ranking in here, but you want to get out. So zoom out a little bit so you see a better view, and then start making service area pages and rank them as you build them. So here's Montclair. You want to build a page for Claremont, Laverne, Pomona, Ontario, and Upland. Get them ranking. Once they're ranking, zoom out some more. Now, San Dimas, Diamond Bar, Chino Hills, Ramungo Ranch, Ontario Ranch. And then just work your way out, work your way out, work your way out. By the time you get to that second set, this set here, you already know what you have to do. Like, you have your process. I know you have built 10 web tubes links and let's say 5 PBN pages, and boom, you're there. So once you figure that out, you can actually start going further and building out these pages a lot faster, because by then you and your team have known what to do. And that's how you build your proximity and relevancy. When it comes to maps, I'm not 100% expert, but what I would do is make sure I'm ranking good in maps here, and then start doing driving directions from these areas. And that will help your map stuff go. But it won't work until you got those service area pages up on your website too. So you got to have the page that's relevant to that city, and then the map, and embed the map on those pages too, or at least have a backlink to them on those pages so you can double that out. But as you know, I'm not a map expert, so take that part with a grain of salt. All right, let's see, where are we at? Adam, starting from scratch, what do you think about creating directory websites to get clients? That is there's actually multiple things with that one, Adam, that is smart. So one, you can create a directory website, and you can rank for the brands on that directory, right? The brand names, and then you put essentially display ads for your agency on there to generate leads that way. So there's one. You can monetize the actual directories and have featured businesses. Think sponsored ads. Do like Yelp, right? So you pay a little bit extra for Yelp, and then they put you up in the listings on that list. So there's 2. And then 3, you can throw Ezoic on those, and you're generating traffic from all these brands, because these brands that you've chosen are all really good, doing good marketing, and they have search volume, and rank for those. Now you get the Ezoic payment too. And then 3, you can actually turn those into PBNs and interlink them, because they have blog sections, and you're going to write about these topics. And then let's say you have directories for 10 cities in a state. You write 10 blog posts, and you send those into your brand new clients every time they run a blog, right? So there's multiple ways to do that stuff with that directory stuff. It's smart to do that. Downside, and I've built directories, is you got to, if you want it to work right and be good, you have to do the manual research to find the real businesses. And then you got to go and find the ones that are actually doing really good branding, so that they have traffic for their brand names. And then that's how that leverage that. If you go find this generic pissant company that's not putting any SEO effort in, not doing any branding to generate brand keywords, more than likely they're probably not going to be a good customer for you anyway, because they're not making enough money. So it's a fine line. You're going to do a lot of work. That's why you should always have if you're going to do that, have multiple ways to monetize that. It's just like PBNs, Adam. If you're going to build a PBN network, have a plan to monetize that PBN network so it makes its own money and pays for itself. And that's how I would treat those directory sites. Boris, what do you think of LinkedIn? Do you get clients from there? I am getting back into LinkedIn. I've gotten a couple of inquiries from LinkedIn, but I don't post over there enough to generate interest, and I need to do that. And then I was paying for Sales Navigator, and I just didn't have or didn't make the time to leverage that well enough. And it's honestly, it's kind of like the cold emailing thing. I need at the end of the day, I just need to do it. Right. Or I find someone that can do it. And that's harder when like I outsource most of my stuff to the Philippines. And when you get something back from them, it's not written by a native speaker. And so it just seems kind of canned and stuff. So I'll end up having to do that myself. But at the end of the day, if I want to grow the business and stabilize everything, I'm just gonna have to do it. And LinkedIn, Boris, is one of those places I want to do that. Tiered link building. What's a good place to learn what to blast a premium guest post link insertion with? Type of span links. Here's think about it this way. You paid money to get a link from this website because this website either had traffic or it was ranking for keywords, which indicates that Google thinks it's not a complete turd. So you want to be cognizant of that, and you don't want to blast that site and make it no longer a good tier one with tools like GSA or whatever. So using clouds is fine. Using Google Drives stuff is fine. Doing press releases to those is fine. I'm not some $400 press release, like a $79 service, that's putting out to those free sites. Those are fine, etc. But don't go blasting those with, say, GSA. Because you could screw up that site and then you ruin the value of that thing. So just be careful with that. When you build Google Stacks and cloud links to local web, do you power them up with links from GSA, Seer, and Xrumor? I actually hit those with a little bit of like interlinking if I'm using clouds, for example, I'll link them together. So I curate essentially 10 referring domains to that page that I'm building. Make sense? So I got 10 cloud sites and I'll send them to the money page, and then I'll interlink them together, and then I'll send SEO autopilot social bookmarks, the high quality ones, to those. So my backlinks now have referring domains themselves. And then from there, it's really a decision about the niche and what I want to do. The cloud sites can handle the Xrumor and the Seer. You just don't need to go full retard on those because you're not trying to rank them, but you don't want to roast past any issues up to your website either. So, 150 referring domains through a GSA run through the cloud sites works just as well as the social bookmarks. But again, if you have, let's say you create a Web2 / cloud sites PBN, and you want to continue to use the value of that PBN, then you wouldn't point Seer right at those. And you certainly wouldn't hire someone on Fiverr to create those. Just, think of that too. Alfredo. Awesome traffic bot. I don't use it, so I would be absolutely no help with that. I know Chris Palmer and Holly Starks talk about it and say it's cool, but I mean, I've not messed with it. I've got Agency Assassin and I got CTR Booster, and I've never tried Awesome Traffic Bot, so I could not help you there. CTR manipulation. Everyone I've talked to, even the people that are doing it regularly, say once you shut it off, your ranking drops. So don't shut it off. So if you're going to make that a part of your standard operating procedure, just go ahead and anticipate that as your client list grows, so will your servers and proxy expenses. and the number of licenses you got to buy. And that's just not scalable for me when you're running 300-400 franchises. Just not going to fucking happen. Not going to depend on CTR for that. You mentioned in Fight Club that you can add PHP scripts pages to existing pages to help them rank. Can you expand on that? That wasn't me. That was Ted. And he did a talk at spring training last year. And I'm doing some testing on it to see how much it works, but it's essentially a cloaking method with PHP to show Google one thing and show users another. And then ergo doing that, you can rank. Downside, manual reviewer figures that you did that out, they're going to take out your domain. So there is significant risk to that. Upside, Google doesn't have a very many manual reviewers running around right now. So if it's your own website, then knock yourself out. I had a plugin made to do what Ted's doing, just to see, to test it for SIA. And then, but I'll use it on something I totally don't care about. Yeah, she got all my answers with this live. Perfect. That's sweet. Mark, can the creation of cloud links be fully automated? I wonder if Victoria's course can be automated. So let me show you. I don't have any files. Let me see if I have some files. I'm going to show you guys something. Just kind of put this in your bean bowl about something that you could do with the tools that you have access to. And I don't have any Quora Lite reports on this computer. What the hell's wrong with me? I do have some Quoras though, so I'm going to show you a Quora report. See if I can find the one that doesn't. Oh shit, this one opens forever. This is fine. This will be good enough for an example. So the idea behind Victoria's course is there is some audit stuff you got to do manually. You got to make the HTML file that you want to upload with CyberDuck, right? But you can use the outputs of your tools to accomplish that. In one case, it's a keyword analysis. I guess it's more of a competition analysis, HTML output. And you could upload this and interlink it, but it's kind of a pain in the ass to edit. You can go to this keyword parking thing and you can go click on random HTML and it creates this random page, right? And you can then take this HTML, it's all down here, this random page, and then insert your backlink into the text somewhere and link to your website and upload that to all your cloud pages. Now I have built a cloud page. And let's say you have 10 clouds and you want to upload a different one to each cloud. All you got to do is push this button and keep going and make 10 more, right? And you see there's some competition stuff in there, and that's okay. You don't give a shit. You're not, whatever. You're not hurting them because you also want to get the rank to you. So you can use this to do that. It's not the original intent of this keyword parking tool. However, the original intent is to run a keyword, create one of these, and then you can put a page on it, see how easy or hard it ranks based off of where this lands, and then do your testing, et cetera, find out what you need to do to rank, and then make your page about it. Take this one down and then put your own page up. That's what the intent of this is for. Page Optimizer Pro have HTML output. Phrase has a HTML output. You can do HTML, PDFs get converted to HTML. So you download a PDF report from your tools, go in there, edit the PDF, put a backlink in, and use that, right? The best one for this method is using Quora Lite, because you can run the keyword and you can run the 10 related keywords, put those up on that set up on all of your cloud sites, interlink everything, and then link it to your money site. And that's the fastest way to do it. Core takes more time. There's other core reports in here. Let me see. There's another one that Core makes, diff factors. So if I wanted to, I could take this and then make this. Hopefully you can see me highlighting it. This Phoenix SEO, I can make that a backlink. And now I have this thing here that talks about Phoenix SEO. Or if I'm feeling adventurous, I can go and put data set schema on this and put it in as just like that, and then use significant link in the schema and create a data set for all of my keywords. And then I have this data set. The downside of this report is it doesn't have very many keyword references in it versus the core report. I mean, the core light report. Let me see another one. This is another thing that Cora makes, and it's his supplemental content thing. Now, I'll tell you that I put this on this Gilbert SEO page and it didn't do much, but it's all in how much supplemental content you put on there and how you optimize it. This is really heavy for Gilbert SEO. I could look at my rank tracker and see where that's sitting today, but last time I looked at it, it wasn't doing all that much. But I mean, you have to clean this stuff up. Like, this is all trash. So when I put it on my website, I had to clean it up. But that's another thing that you can do with the cloud sites. You can just build one of these and throw it up on the cloud site, right? And just, you can edit this out, and it's really easy, So the idea is you're going to use all of these tools anyway to analyze your website, to do reviews, etc. So use Core Lite reports to clean that stuff up. And that's how you get that the semi-automatedness out of Victoria's course. Because at the end of the day, what you're paying for is learning how to connect CyberDuck to those tools and not having to pay yaks for websites that essentially everybody's all look the same, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Why do everything the same as every one of those other users when you can do it individually on yours and stand out? Makes sense. No, I haven't even talked to Dan on that one, Adam. I'm interested to see if he was able to monetize those guys. I know he does a lot of display ads, and he set a retargeting pixel up to that. So everyone that viewed those ads actually got pixeled with his retargeting, and he built that retargeting list. I didn't see if he actually tried to monetize that. What is the URL for Cloud Links? Well, I don't know. I'll play your silly little game, Glenn. I'm assuming Cloud Links is a service you're looking for. So I would just, Google Cloud Links. Talking about actually building Cloud Links, then you can reference the video I did talking about Victoria's course. It's probably the one I recommend for most people. Unless you're lazy, then you can go buy Yaks. I think that looks like that's it. We had a good chat, guys. Nice amount of views, some good questions. Sounds good. So I appreciate you guys showing up on this Labor Day. Hopefully, you all got your questions asked and answered. What else? Oh, last thing. I guess in YouTube, there's a feature now where I can, or we as in users can, let's say you do a long video like I do. So this is an hour. And there's some really good questions in here, and I just want to highlight those really good questions and that answer. I can do it in shorts now, and then the short will actually link back to the YouTube video, which is awesome because it helps increase the views of the YouTube video from the short, which is something I thought was always lacking anyway. So that's something I'm going to play around with. And if you guys are following the shorts where I do the questions and question of the day kind of thing that I'm trying out, you're going to start seeing those too. Just give you a heads up that that'll be there. I just got to figure out the editing because it is 1 minute. And then some of your questions are awesome, but they're not like answer in 1 minute questions. So we'll figure out how that works. But be on the lookout for that. And if you have a channel, check that out yourself. And the last question of the day will be from Ben. Have you tested custom maps on Google for local SEO and seen any result? I've done them before. I haven't done them in quite some time. I know I tested those maps with, the circles and the 100 gajillion pins and all that stuff, and that was kind of a douche work. But Daryl Osborne, he's got a method to make those, and there's some other people that have some methods to make those that are not as douchey, and you can like all those accounts for my VA. So I got 55 of them. If I make 55 custom maps and then use those as links, will that rank a page in local? Or will it help boost the rankings in Google Maps? So those are two really good tests I'm very interested in. I think I mentioned last week or the week before, my VAs have made the SOPs for his course together. And now we just got to go through and test each individual thing and make sure, see what actually works in those stacks, because a lot of us, including myself, will make this great and wonderful idea of how to, combine these things and stack things. And at the end of the day, it's like 2 of those 10 steps that we're doing are what's actually ranking, and we're wasting our time with the other 8. So that's the next part of that. And those test results will actually get published in SIA as well. Because we can do the individual pieces and test those without giving away someone's method. And then if you want to know the full method, you actually pay the user, the creator for that course. And Daryl and Clinton, they're good people. So I'm looking forward to testing all that and see how that works too. So, but Ben, I would try some. Here's what I say by not being douchey. So, like, create a custom map, things to do in, I don't know, your name's Ben, so we're going to just say Israel. So things to do in Jerusalem, and then find 10 points of interest in Jerusalem and list them out. And then the 6th point of interest will be a business. Just find any random business, Ben. And then do driving directions from that business to those 5 POIs. And then do driving directions from those 5 POIs to the business. And in the descriptions, put links to your business inside of there and links to the maps. And then watch the rankings. And then that'll tell you if those custom maps have any value whatsoever. It won't tell you how many you have to make to increase your ranking. It'll tell you if they have any value. And then the next test, you do multiples, so if you can see how much you need to do to actually increase your rankings. So there's the 2 stages of that test. And that's how you pull that off. So I wish you luck, Ben. If you do it, come back and tell us what's up. And with that, hope you all have a great and wonderful Labor Day. Now I gotta go mow the lawn.